Call the special meeting of Paintsville Utilities of April 12th, 2017 to order. Roll call, Kim Spencer. Here. Bill Goggins. Here. Mitch Skinner. Jimmy Wright. Here. L.B. Lemaster. Here. The second item is on the agenda is to welcome our new commissioner, which is Jimmy Wright, and it's customary that the new appointee gives some type of a speech. You ready?
Sure.
You could also sing a song or
Well,
interpretive dance.
I don't think you want me to sing or do dance.
No.
You wouldn't last long in here with me.
Should sing yes.
Well, congratulations. I'm glad you're on board. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you taking the reins.
Third item will be the aerator at the Honey Branch wastewater plant. I guess you've all seen the requested action that was attached to your agenda.
Yeah, there are 4 aerators in that second lagoon, and one of them failed due to a broken propeller, which caused the bearings to fail. It was out of balance. We got a quote for repair of $3,680 and a quote for a new power section for it for $5,338.04. And our recommendation is to purchase the new unit.
What's
Go
the,
Go ahead, Amber.
I was gonna say, what's the difference between ball pumps and aqua aerobic power section? I mean, one you're just repairing a propeller, and the other you're doing something different?
Okay, the aqua aerobic, you're actually buying you've seen the aerators out there, that center section that stands up and the propeller's on the bottom. That's the power section. You're just buying a new one. And what All Pump is proposing is to essentially rebuild that power section on the old one.
So this way we get a warranty.
Right. It's a longer one.
It should last longer.
Yeah. For that price difference, we're going to feel like it's better to get the new.
We'll say you did nature.
I was just going to ask if anybody had a motion to purchase a new power section from Aqua Aerobics for $5,338.04.
I'll make that motion.
Second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, which is number 4, is the discussion about the Page Branch utility line extensions.
Yeah, we've been up there and looked around, talked to some engineers, talked to an insurance company, and based on those discussions, it's our recommendation that we bid that out. Currently, we're looking at sections 1 and 2. Which goes up to the gate on the right-hand side and up to the end of the property line behind the entrepreneur center.
Now, we've already okayed Boca to go ahead and design these two.
We have.
That's correct.
They're not complete with the design on the left-hand side behind the entrepreneur center yet. They are on the right-hand side.
But then, once they're complete with the designs, they just go to Division of Water for their approval. And
Correct.
comes back to us, and then we can do
Yeah,
something.
right. And what I'm asking for is authorization to do the bid process and the permitting process simultaneously.
I'm not in favor of doing them simultaneously, because the last one we done, we got stuck now for a year and a half. The way it's going on the I&I project. We bid it, because we gave it to the contractor and didn't get approval.
Well,
And I'm kind of leery about it.
that's a funding issue, is the reason we're held up on that. You wouldn't have that issue here. This would be self-funded.
But I thought we had issues with our I&I, when it's not approved yet, so you can't really sign off on it until.
Well,
everybody else is in.
this is contingent upon having the approval to move forward on that. We can't do any of this until we have our new rates in place and can move forward with the I&I project.
How do we know how to do a bid advertisement when we don't know if we're going to do it ourselves or if the contractor's going to do it?
Well, the recommendation that I'm making is that we bid it out for contract.
The last meeting, we had decided that the equipment that was up there, that the landowner was big enough to do the deep digging with his excavator, which he said that apparently through the grapevines that we could use it. And I've talked to Bobby and all of them, and all we need is an engineering on it, that's how to do the survey. That's a line of thought.
Yeah, and from the cost savings that could be there, I understand that. The concerns that I have, our people have, and the others I've spoken to is the safety of working in a deeper trench, which we don't have the proper equipment for. The boxes, cages, so forth. Nor are our guys properly trained for that type of excavation.
I think so, Dudley.
It's not designed yet, so.
Right. And the bigger concern there is actually the third phase. One issue on these first two phases is time. And I would be reluctant to get into something where we're trying to do something as time allows around our regular schedule and then get that whole project held up.
Well, that was the other thing that we talked about, Bob, that concerns me, is that we said that we wouldn't have a time frame. We could, if we had an emergency, we could go take care of that. We could do this at our leisure. There's no rush on this project.
There is on phase, the sections 1 and 2.
What's the rush on sections 1 and 2?
There's some construction that's being planned. And we will be holding that up.
Well, we're gonna be holding up till we get word from Division of Water, and that's typically 2 months or so before we get word back.
We've been told in this case 4 to 6 weeks.
But we've held this project up for how many years?
Well,
Seriously?
it's been a long time, and I think that
And all of a sudden it's a rush.
it's a rush because it's tied into what the city's trying to accomplish up there. Project section 1 and 2 involves getting access to Clayton Holland, who's the landowner up there. If you all, I don't know how many of us on the commission, but Clayton came to us back when Midway was going to take over that property up there at the Entrepreneurial Center, and we made a commitment then, I guess that was 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that we would go ahead and establish utilities up to his property line, both up towards the Entrepreneurial Center and then straight on up as you go up Tays Branch, because he was bringing material from behind the Entrepreneurial Center and taking it out there. That commitment that we made then, we made it in an open meeting like this because he actually sent a representative down and they had some drawings about what they were going to do above the Entrepreneurial Center with the development up there and that sort of thing. And so we made the commitment at that point in time to do the utilities. That was actually the second time that we've made a commitment with both the city and the utilities to go ahead and bring utilities to that piece of property. I was on council back, I believe, in 1990, and the Hazel Davis heirs was involved in all that at one point in time. And the city at that point in time was involved in the annexation of that out there where the jail is and on out through there where Tractor Supply is and Hutch Chevrolet. That was all annexed into the city at that point in time. And the Davis heirs, as part of that, agreed to not challenge the annexation if we would waive any taxes or fees, since they weren't getting benefit of anything because there was no utilities. And they also own part of the property up there at Tays Branch. So the agreement is that they wouldn't be charged for certain things until such time as there was a demand made by them to establish utility service to the property. And in exchange for that, they wouldn't contest the annexation. Of course, everything went through back in 1990, and we annexed the property, the city did, and things have been fine. The Davis heirs never made, to my knowledge, any kind of a demand that services be brought up Tays Branch to the property that they own. Clayton Holland ended up being, I assume, the purchaser of that property from them at some point in time, and he has now made that demand repeatedly. And
When did he demand it to the commission though?
well, the first time, as far as
Well, I mean, like, if he's repeatedly, I mean, because I don't remember hearing any of this until just recently.
well,
And I've been here 2 years.
well, that shows you how long it's been. When Midway was involved there, he actually came to a utilities meeting and he brought his representative here and we told him then, yes, we'll do it. And again, that was kind of honoring the promise that had been made years prior. After that, I've been on site twice with Clayton, once with Mayor Porter, with Eric. I was out there, we walked the property off because they were trying to decide if they could put it in, if they could bring it up the roadway or they could want to bring it up behind those buildings, and there's some discussion about equipment use and all that kind of stuff. But even at that point in time, we said, yes, we will do it. And then what happened is, with Eric's departure, Bob got involved in it, and that's when the I&I issue surfaced, and as part of this process to get the application done and to get the permitting done, we had to sign off on some things, and with the I&I issue out there, that kind of muddied the water. So that slowed it down again. But where I understand now is that Clayton is going to donate a part of his property up there in Page Branch to the city. And as part of then, the city wants, section 3 of this will be for us to take the line on up to the city-owned property. But to do that, before Clayton commits, since we've kind of been slow in getting the services to his property, I guess he's saying, look, I'm not going to deed the city this property until I know this time for sure you're going to bring utilities to my property.
Well, did our resolution we voted on at the last meeting take care of that?
Well, I guess maybe our word, I guess action speaks louder than words, so I guess he'd like to see somebody, a permitting process and.
It was not legally binding what we did, we just.
I mean, it's, yeah, we were saying, yes, this is the action we plan on taking, but I guess if you take it a step further and you actually go ahead and you apply for your permit and you start the bidding process, and you can say, yes, I can see things constructively being done, and I can see, you know, the end of the tunnel.
Well, I mean, to me, I would like to see the design first, which once we get the design, then go ahead and send it off. As far as advertising for bids, until we get everything back, that's what I'm kind of.
But you can't advertise for bids until the plans are actually drawn. They should have those in the next few days.
Right, but between that time and while it's off 4 to 6 weeks, we can decide at that time, yes, let's do the bid process. That way, we can at least see it as a commission and see what it looks like.
I'll call you back.
I mean, I don't see how you can jump and go ahead like I'm tomorrow going to put the bid out there for this. And then we're still not sure about, is it going to be completely okay and get caught up? I mean, I'm sure it will be, but I would like to see the full plan before I would go, yeah, go ahead and bid on it.
But I recall some other story to that story. It seemed like when they brought their representative in here, the main thing that they were going to do, they were going to go up above the place. They were going to build some housing. They were going to do a lot of development. And I don't think anybody's seen anything of that.
Well, that's true.
And it's been just pushed back. They never did come back, and we didn't do nothing, and they didn't do nothing.
They've not been back to here, but they've been to, there's been discussions with the city. I guess the thought was that since we had committed at some point in time that we were going to establish utility service. I mean, to me, this is no different than any other landowner saying, look, guys, bring utilities to me. I mean, we do it routinely.
I think we agreed to do that. I think that we did agree to do that on the contingency that he did his thing with the city. He needs to donate that property, and we need to do what we said.
Well,
If he's changing what we said, then we need to talk about that.
Who's going to jump first?
Yeah, I agree with the chicken.
Well,
I mean, I'm not denying to do it. I mean, yeah, let's do it because we committed years ago to do it. But I just want to see the plans before I say, yes, I would agree with going ahead and doing a bidding process. Because if we're trying to see whether or not to do it as in-house or let the whole thing, that's kind of what I'm thinking from LB, is he would like to give it a better idea as something we could try to save some money since we're bearing the whole cost of the $857,000 bill, because we've got to be stewards of the money that this place generates. And, you know, I just want to see what the plans look like.
Well, let me ask you this, are you willing to delay it to the point that Clayton may back out on the city?
No.
Well,
I don't see how we're
think that's-
delaying it, because we're in the process of getting everything drawn up, sending it off for the approvals. And in that time, we can say, looks like good, yeah, let's do the bidding before it does get back.
Yeah.
I just, you know.
What's he gonna do with the property until we do develop it for him? He's not going anywhere.
No, he's not going anywhere, but it doesn't have to deed it to the city either.
No, but he doesn't have to.
But we certainly have to provide utilities if he makes a demand on us, whether he gives any part to the city or not.
I think we said we could do
phase
that.
1 and 2, I'm for that.
I think we
But
said we
before
would.
we actually say, yeah, go ahead and bid it, I want to see the plans and then say, okay, it looks fine to me, yeah, let's go. And that way we can argue back and forth if we're going to do it in-house or just let it out to contractor.
We've got two different timetables being proposed, right? And one of them involves advertising for bids sooner, right? I don't know, what are the details of each plan? Bob, what's your plan? Advertise for bids now, before the drawings are approved by Frankfurt or something, or
Yeah,
what?
before they're approved, you can't advertise until the plans are completely drawn.
Mhm.
But you can reasonably expect that the professionally drawn plans from engineers are going to be approved.
Mhm.
But in the interest of time, I would like to, once
Mhm.
they're drawn, and it's perfectly appropriate to look at them before we
Mhm.
bid it out.
Yeah,
It-
well,
it need to.
why can't we compromise? We
But-
can get the plans, and then we can look at them to our satisfaction, make a judgment about whether we want to do it in-house or
That's why I'm saying-
out-house, and then we can advertise, if that's conventional and if we're legally secure in doing that. And then, so we don't have to wait till they're approved to advertise for bids, we just have to wait till we see them, right?
Yeah, that's all I'm.
And Tim's happy, everybody's happy.
But we need,
You won't be happy, but it's not an overstatement there.
we need to go ahead and take this step right now, so we can get everything moving. Right, your I&I project. and
Everything is moving, isn't it, for these two projects coming up, section 1 and 2, but we're moving now on it. And you said it's gonna be a few more days before they get them drawn up. Then we're looking at 4 to 6 weeks before approval. And our typical bidding is what, a month long? So I don't think we'll be delaying it because, you know, we're just gonna wait to see what they look like. They get them completed, just a quick look, and we can go through email talking about it, and there you can get your votes for what it is, and then ratify it at the next meeting.
Seems to me there's only a difference of a couple of days. We
Yeah,
can,
that's
the
what
plan-
I'm looking
the
at.
plans could be drawn, we call Tim, when we say, Tim, the plans are here, Tim goes over, looks at it, and reports to us.
Here's the difference. As far as getting to that point, I think you're correct. The question then becomes with the construction. If you bid it, you know it's gonna be done by a date certain. Whereas if we do it in-house, we don't have a date certain. And I'm not sure how long Clayton is willing to sit idly by saying, well, when are you guys gonna get to it?
Well, I see that.
We'll set him a date.
And we're not even
We're
sure
sure.
that.
Why?
Because we can't pull people off of, if we have a break, we can't pull those people off a break to let them go up there and do construction work versus maintenance work. You know, their primary job is maintenance, not construction. And the way we've done these other things is, just like the water line extensions that we've done, it takes us much, much longer to do those in-house because we do them as we have available time and man and material. Same way it's gonna be with this project. Clayton wants this project done, the sooner the better, and he would like to see a date certain when he knows the project's gonna be done. If it's bid, he knows that as of a certain date, it will be completed. Whereas if we do it in-house, we can't make that representation in that we're gonna be done on a certain date.
You know, I don't know if we can save 60,000, 80,000, or 100,000. I have no clue until I can see the plan. But if we can, and we can do what we said before at our leisure, which we can,
We
then,
can.
yes, we can. He's waited this long. All we gotta do is get it started, and if we have to go fix something, that's gonna take a half an hour, we'll be right back. I mean, my goodness.
Well, I know I'm new, but working at the college, we do a lot of bidding. Just because we bid it doesn't mean we have to do it.
That's true.
I mean, so we could still bid it. Does it cost the Utilities Commission something to bid?
Sure, there's some engineering costs involved.
Yeah,
But
minimal cost related. So,
advertising.
when we bid large projects in the $200,000 and $300,000 range, we bid them and assume that cost even if we don't do it. And there are many times that we will bid a $500,000 electrical job and then decide to do it a different route. So
We've done that here too.
Yeah, that's why I was asking, I was trying to figure out if there was a lot of cost associated with bidding, because if you bid, if you do what Bob is asking, you just go ahead and bid it, in 3 or 4 days, the plan's going to be in anyway, then you want to make a decision if you want to do it in-house or out-of-house, and you're going to incur that bidding cost, whether it be today or in 3 weeks. Is that right? And I'm new, so I'm asking these questions.
We don't do a lot of in-house construction.
We have a maintenance crew. We're not really staffed up for a lot of construction.
We have done water line extensions, and we did that about 3 years ago. We started it, and it took us months and months and months to do it. And we did that in conjunction with the county. The county was securing the funding, and because we only had limited funds available, we were providing the labor. But we encountered some problems with that in that we didn't have the equipment to do some boring, and some boring got done that probably shouldn't have gotten done, and we had some crossings that shouldn't have gotten done in the manner they were done. So the projects didn't turn out as they really should have. But, so the question becomes now is, do we want to go back? And in this situation, we're talking about water, sewer, and gas, not just water. And the question becomes is, do we want to try to challenge that ourselves again to do something in-house versus bidding it out? That's really the issue.
We probably won't be able to because of the scope, but it's still worth taking a look at as far as, I agree with Bob, if it's that deep and you gotta have those boxes.
Yeah.
We don't want to get anybody hurt.
That's what I want, I'd like to see, what is the practical, and go from there.
Yeah.
As I said, just trying to be a good steward of the money, and just to have an idea.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking, if you're saying just a few more days to get everything drawn up, that's all the delay I'm seeing for a decision is to say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do the bid.
Could we just call both of them and say, is this gonna, how deep is this gonna have to be
Well,
roughly?
they don't have a design yet.
I know that, but he might know the area. He said, well, it's gonna be at least 9 feet. Well, that answers our question. It's over. So he might happen to know that.
We'll have the answer in a few days. They'll have it done, and then
We could have it probably right now.
Here's my understanding. Of course, we're not privy to everything that goes on with the city. The city, the part of the city deal is incumbent upon them getting a bonding in place and a grant in place for what their plans are. And I think time is of the essence to them. This thing has to get going for them to get their grant money that they're looking for, which is, as I understand it, is a substantial grant. All that's going to be contingent upon Clayton Holland deeding them this property. If Clayton's not satisfied with the action that we take, I think you're putting that in jeopardy. Now, you can do that if you choose. I want the city council vote. The last meeting, and they made it pretty clear that they expect utilities to be afforded to Clayton Holland and to the property that's Clayton's donating to the city. And they certainly don't want us to do anything that's going to jeopardize that.
Well, does a few days jeopardize that, do you think, in your opinion?
It could very easily.
What's the situation with Clayton Hall?
David's been involved in a lot of these things in terms of trying to get deed preparation, and I think he can confirm that time is of the essence. And the sooner that you can get Clayton satisfied to where he feels comfortable that he's willing to deed the property, then everything goes. But until you get that, I don't think Clayton's gonna jump.
I think that I think you hit on it a lot when you talked about, actually you hit on it when you talked about the bidding process. There's a difference between the bidding process and awarding the contract. When we did the water treatment plant, we bid it out and it sat there for a while, and we did what was called value engineering, where they subtracted, we found the lowest bidder, and then we negotiated with them for things we could do ourselves. I think that Mitch is absolutely correct that they are needing action, like, sorry, a special meeting.
So I stepped out of a meeting Monday to schedule this meeting. It was that.
These two, you're going to have to apply the division water anyway, I think that's a no-brainer, you have to do that. And the bidding process, you know, the 4 days that it takes, you know, to get the plans in, as long as we take the action, we're going to bid it. I mean, start the bidding process, you can always do value engineering with the contract on the low bid before you award the contract. Do a change order or whatever, if there are things we think we can do ourselves to save money. But I think that, you know, as far as what we're dealing with today, I think that
You could always change your mind and not award the bid.
that'll come in $50 million, yeah. It's the lowest and best, is the language we always use.
I think Bob's just asking for the process to get started, and these are the two things that he thinks need to be done to get that process rolling. And I think he's been in conversations with the mayor, he's been in meetings with Clayton Holland and the mayor, and I think he's probably privy to more than we are collectively as a body. And just from my understanding, time is of the essence that, and the city's looking for us to take this action that's outlined in this.
You better get both cook over here and a piece for Tim then, because
No, I'm not, I don't need to get appeased, I just thought maybe just a waste of time to see it and let it go, or, you know, just,
that's good. I think they could get you a written.
well, I don't have to know written, I'm just, like I said, just trying to be prudent with it, and, you know, because everything that's happened since I've been here.
I think you can accomplish that because, you know, as soon as you get the plans, you're going to email to everybody. And
Right,
if the questions come up, that can be when there is the lowest bidder, you can then discuss, hey, these are things we can do ourselves and subtract about.
I guess I wasn't aware we were having this meeting because there was a urgency. We're going to take action or bad things could happen. That's what we're looking at, right? Or at least we're sort of rolling the dice if we don't make a move right now.
This meeting was generated as a result of a meeting that took place on Monday between Bob, the mayor, and Clayton Hall.
here, let's do this. I make a motion for permission to apply for division order permits to install the water and sewer lines as described in items 1 and 2 of the estimates provided by Cook Engineering. Also, make a motion for permission to advertise for bids on these extensions at the same time we are seeking approval from the Division of Water.
That motion will be contingent upon implementation of the amended and sewer water rate ordinance as first read at the 10th of 2013.
Yes.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
Is that gonna sound
You got a piece?
We have a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?